Hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this news video. I am the Ninjaneer, and the topics we're covering today are as follows. All lamination trays for Aptera Solar are done. Aptera's production air handler. Aptera accepts cryptocurrency. Polydrops prototype. Fun for Lewis video on Aptera. Disruptive Investing mentioning Aptera. And a CF crowdfunding update. Let's get started. As you can see in these pictures 1, 2, 3, and 4, as you can see there, the completion of all solar lamination trays marks a major milestone, as we now have all the necessary trays to produce complete sets of production solar panels, which is fantastic. These lamination trays are like the device that they put the stuff onto before they smush it together, basically, and get the final shape of the solar panels. So the fact that they have all of these is a very good sign, and it kind of makes me curious as to how quickly they can press each piece. I believe it may have been mentioned previously, but now that the trays are done and things like that, I'm just kind of curious as to what that process looks like from a time perspective. Anyway, lamination trays provide a stable base that supports the solar cells, glass, and encapsulant layers during the lamination process. So yeah, this thing they've set it on top of to laminate the trays, to finish the trays, finish the solar panels, basically. This is a picture of Aptera's production air handler. We got kind of an insight as to the actual size of it, both from a Drive the Lightning video when they talked about when they had correspondents go down to the Aptera facility to look around, and during the most recent Aptera live stream. I'm going to be talking about the live stream in more detail in a separate video, perhaps Monday or Tuesday, because my news video has come out very late in the week. Yeah, I might have to switch my news videos to the end of the week instead of the beginning, because this week was hectic. Anyway, long story short, the air handler is tiny, like small enough for me to think that it could have been any one of these components individually, but it represents the evaporator, the heater, the blower, all those things in a small and compact unit seen here. Like I said, any one of those components could have been the entirety of this particular device, but because of Aptera's efficiency, they can make that entire system fit in a very small footprint. Aptera is accepting cryptocurrency. The reasoning behind it, according to Aptera, is that people were asking to be able to invest using crypto, and so they just acquiesced. They allowed that to happen and made that possible. So I don't personally have a lot of feelings, positive or negative, towards cryptocurrency, except for the fact that I know it exists, and as a financial concept, there are still some things that, in my opinion, need to be tuned up a bit. But yeah, their Reg D offering allows you to invest cryptocurrency, so that is a thing. For investing, for accredited investors, there's a 5% bonus share for investing, 10% bonus shares for investments of $20,000 or more. Yeah, good times. I believe that the more opportunities people have to invest, the better. And yeah, this is just another opportunity. Polydrops showed a full-on picture of their trailer with the Aptera solar on top. You can't see it in this picture, but the solar goes all the way to the back, like right where it starts tapering off at the end. That's exactly where the solar panels end. But yeah, you can see the sleek and aerodynamic shape here. It's a point at the front, and it just kind of widens and then tapers at the back. The top has a little ridge on it that goes up and above and over. Yeah, it's a very interesting design. I kind of want to know the drag coefficient on it, so I might have to look into the site to see if they say anything about it. But yeah, Aptera Solar has launched a pilot program with EV trailer manufacturer Polydrops. These custom fit panels provide 1,300 watts of energy while keeping the aerodynamic shape. stay tuned for more details next week. Yeah, that was 6 days ago. So I'm assuming that sometime, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they'll give some additional details on the polydrop situation. There exists a channel called Fun for Lewis. This channel I recently discovered, partially because they covered Aptera. He does a lot of things that are fun to him, like he covers his own interests to a large degree, and apparently he is interested in Aptera because they are a really cool company. The video itself is very interesting because they do an interview with Chris Anthony and with Chris McCammon, both of Chris's together in the same interview, or not the same interview, but together in a video where interviews are done. So yeah, the video's fun, it was in-depth, it was well produced. I advise you check it out if you feel the need to see interesting perspectives on Aptera through the eyes of somebody who is fairly new to the company. Yeah, that was the first thing that I liked this week. By the way, I forgot to say that one of my topics was things that I like, so this is the things that I like section. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, there exists a channel called Disruptive Investing. Disruptive Investing is an extension of a channel that I watch fairly frequently called Now You Know. They interviewed a group of folks that, a couple of folks that put together essentially solar powered RVs and camper vans rather. And the interview itself is pretty interesting on its face, so if you're interested in that topic and how they get that process done, you can check that out as well. But during this video, let me see if I can actually find it. During this video, they talked about Aptera.
And you can apply that to a build, and it's vice versa, and then we all become part of the development. So that's really cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and there's so many different aspects to it. There's a few that I want to touch on, but first I just want to talk a little bit about solar-powered vehicles. The only ones that are kind of like, they're not even really on the market today, but the ones that people can talk about are the Lightyear one, which I think they've gone out of business, Sono Motors one, which went out of business, and then Aptera, which hasn't gone out of business yet. And we're very excited, but they've achieved what you guys have achieved, but they're doing it in a much different way. And in fact, not really what you've achieved, because they're not getting anywhere close to the amount of solar power or miles per day, and they have the lightest, most aerodynamic three-wheeled vehicle that you can possibly imagine, which is smart because if you don't want to have a fold-out array, you need to make it as light as possible and still have a ton of surface area, which they do with their like beaver tail. But you've gone about it in a completely different way. What was the idea behind it? What was the impetus? What started you off? Because you said, you took some lithium-ion batteries and you converted VW microbus, and then you put some solar on the roof. What inspired you to do that?
Well,
okay, so that is basically what he said about Aptera. It was a very good summary in spite of the fact that it was brief. Yeah, comparing and contrasting those two companies was an interesting feat that they pulled off pretty well. I put that clip in this video because I thought it was very important to understand that it's possible to speak briefly on Aptera and get everything right. I'm not going to mention names, but there are quite a few channels that have gotten it wrong or did not do very much research before they brought Aptera up, essentially. Doing it on the fly, like basically doing a bit of injustice to Aptera, the company. This applies to news channels and YouTubers alike. It's just one of those things. If you're going to do a short spot on Aptera in your videos, in my opinion, this is how to do it. Just talk about the topic at hand, compare and contrast. They didn't disparage the company or compare it to failing businesses like articles have done. Yeah, it's just short, sweet, to the point. Good times. Anyway, Aptera's crowdfunding, their last CF round, is coming to a close here in a day and 18 hours. So you got a day and some change to invest in Aptera. There's $300,000, almost $400,000 left to raise. I keep refreshing this. I've refreshed it twice today. And every time I've refreshed it, it's gone down by like 10,000 or so. I would suggest that if you have not invested and you want to invest and you've talked to your advisor, very important, and they say it's a good idea, you go ahead and invest in Aptera because you are running out of time at this share price of $10.50. Rumor has it, not really rumor so much as the next crowdfunding statement or the next fundraising round statement says that this price is about to go away. So, yeah, if you have it, do it. If not, yep, I'm missing out a little bit. But anyway, yeah, just showing you guys where they are and how much time is left. Time is drawing short. So by the time I put this video out, it's going to be probably in the neighborhood of 200,000 flat. So, yeah. Very interesting. It's really cool how fast this stuff fills out because the last time I checked it, before I refreshed it maybe 2 days ago, it was at like 1.9 million. So very quickly, the opportunity is very quickly closing. So yeah, check it out if you wanna. If you've talked to your advisor, if you have a good plan on how you want to make that happen, yeah, this is the time to do it. Time is running short. A channel that I don't get to talk about very often, Free Power. Free Power is basically a news channel much like my own that talks about many of the topics I talk about. I do watch him very often. I just never get a real chance to talk about him because the topics that I talk about are the topics that he talks about. Anyway, good channel, fun channel. Love the intro that they went with. They changed their intro recently. That was interesting, but yeah, like I didn't gravitate towards the new intro as much as the first one because I have older tastes when it comes to music. Anyway, long story short, Free Power, fun channel. Check them out if you haven't already. Alright, for the next thing that I liked, if you've ever needed a bit of your faith restored in humanity, this is the video for you. There's a channel that I watch fairly often called Mr. Who's the Boss, who does a lot of tech stuff, kind of like a Marquez Brownlee with a different perspective, more or less. And so he posted his wedding speech, which by itself would have been one of the greatest marriage speeches that I've ever personally heard, but then he decided to include hundreds of drones to tell the story in the sky. Bro, top tier, like the absolute coolest wedding idea I've ever seen. I wish that option was available to me when I got married a decade and a half ago. It is so crazy to say that. Like, I've been married for long enough to see the 2010s and all that kind of stuff while married. It's weird to me that time passes so fast. Yeah, marriage is one of those things that's like, in my experience, has been one of the greatest adventures of my life. That and child rearing, just top tier adventure, top tier mystery, top tier puzzle to try and figure out. Yeah, but anyway, this video is fantastic. I would advise you checking it out if you want a little bit of faith restored in humanity, if you want to hear about his unique perspective on life, and how his marriage plays into that. It's just a really good video. Check it out. If you want a little something different, if you want some faith in humanity restored, you will not be disappointed. Aptera Owners Club did a video about the bankruptcy of Fisker. It's what I expected. I can't even lie. The way that their company was formatted, the financials didn't look right. The management was kind kind of all over the place. Not that they were bad people necessarily, but they just seemed like they were all over the place and they didn't have a focus. Even though they said they had a focus, which is it just, the company looked like it wasn't going to make it, and I said so many months ago, and here we are. With Aptera Owners Club video, they did a kind of a deep dive on what they thought about the situation, and it was very comprehensive. He covered many of the things that I thought were also issues with the company, where they go from here, whether or not he would advise buying a cheap Fisker before they, go out of business completely, just all that stuff. So yeah, check this video out as well, because it was another thing that I liked. Alright, that'll do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am once again the Ninjaneer. Please do the YouTubey things found all around you, all around me, and we'll catch you next time.